No, is the army
policy? Yes, policy. What?
One second. General Malik, Colonel Kaul is saying that in his view, the army is handcuffed. It may not be a physical handcuff, but there are handcuffs on the army today. Is it true? Is that also your sense? Say so if you think so, sir.
Look, we are talking of policy first. Okay. Surely you do not want to give that kind of independence to your formation commanders on the line of control or AGPL. You will have escalations every day taking place. There has to be a policy both for our own army as well as foreign policy and political policy towards Pakistan. I'm not in agreement with Anil Kaul when he says that you ask your brigade commanders and div commanders to go across.
Why only one side?
Look, Anil, I don't think I wish to answer your questions because we are not, I'm talking at policy level, you are talking at a different level.
Sir, I am talking very basics that you keep giving platitude. Last time also you said you wrote a letter to the defense minister on Saurabh Kalia's case. Nothing happened in 13 years. 2 guys get their heads knocked off. Nothing happened for the next 13 years. Nobody will light a candle for them. No, there'll be no mass protest. There'll be nothing on the streets. Everyone will forget it, and that's the end of the story. One more program on the war memorial will come up, and that's as far as we are concerned. But the fact of the matter is that why are we allowing only one-sided intervention? Why can't you do it?
Arnav? Yeah.
I want to know if the former...
Arnav, I don't wish to comment on. Arnav, I don't wish to comment on that.
You wish not to comment, but I have a question. I'm taking this forward. One second. I want to get everyone in. General Ashok Mehta, I'm coming to you. However, I would like you to candidly tell me today, General Malik, is it true, and I want to push you further on the Saurabh Kalia case, that in October 1999, when you were the army chief, during Kargil, you visited Captain Kalia's home and you promised to take up the issue with the government. Is it true that you were later advised, and you can say so candidly today because it reflects whether or not the army is responded to effectively? Is it true that you were later advised that it is a sensitive issue involving 2 nations and therefore the army should pull itself back and let the MEA, PMO or MOD handle this case? 13 years later, nothing has happened in the Saurabh Kalia case. Please tell us if it is true.
Arnav, whoever has given you that is not correct. That's not a correct statement. The fact is that yes, I reported this matter to the External Affairs Minister as well as to the Defense Minister, and policies are taken up by them. This whole thing, Army headquarters on its own cannot take up these issues with foreign countries.
Sir, the question is...
Please try and understand.
Yeah, I understand, but please understand why I'm asking you the question, not because I'm blaming you, General Malik, but because genuinely... because genuinely there is a feeling that the political establishment in this country is so deeply vested or invested in this business of improving relations with Pakistan that the sacrifice of our martyrs is reduced to a footnote because it will upset the peace industry, which thrives on track 2, track 3, track 4 with Pakistan.
Arnav, I am denying that kind of advice given to me by anyone.
Sir, I only remember that in June 1999, a man called Jaswant Singh almost broke down. He trembled with emotion, and I'm reading a news report. He was close to tears as he described how 6 Indian soldiers had been mutilated in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir before being killed. And we just forget what has happened in the past. And that's why we are bringing this up again today, sir. Not for blaming, but for naming why this incident has happened, why we allow repeats of this to happen. General Ashok Mehta, without wasting much time, do you think there is a peace industry in Delhi which is now getting rattled at Pakistan, at the media asking Pakistan to be made accountable? And what has this peace industry ever achieved, sir, except whining and dining sessions with their Pakistani counterparts?
you asked me a question rather late in the day, but before I address that question of track 2 or track 3, I just want to tell Anil that at the local army commander level, there is a fair amount of decentralization of power, and I am absolutely 100% certain that the army commander in Northern Command will, at a time and place of his choosing, carry out whatever action is needed to restore the confidence of the troops on the line of control. We have spent at least 1/3 of our lives on the line of control. So that's the first point, that I don't think we should take this matter because what will happen at a certain stage is that, like the Pakistanis have carried out an action and denied it completely, we should create the capabilities, the covert capabilities, which we do have today but not adequate.
Why?
To carry out such actions.
Why is it not adequate?
And teach Pakistan a lesson. In other words, escalation dominance is not in the court, Pakistani court.
Sir,
that we can also escalate, but controlled escalation.
No.
There is a capability.
Before I come to, I hope you will address the question of the peace industry and the fruitlessness and uselessness of track 3 and track 4. I get your point. But my question to you is, why would you admit today on television, General Ashok Mehta, that the political establishment in Delhi is not comfortable with letting the army exercise covert capability? They are so deeply vested in trying to rewrite the history with Pakistan that they don't want to give that freedom or the opportunity.
This is a matter which the army, I think the army also has a responsibility, because it is not merely for the government to say no, it is for the army to say we need it. And I think we need people of the caliber who should be able to thump the table and say that in view of the current military situation on the ground, where Pakistan thinks, as you quoted earlier, that India will do nothing in response to what they do, that should be disabused. And that can be disabused if we have those covert capabilities, and Pakistan knows. Pakistan knows that we will use those capabilities, and that there is decentralization for the army commanders to use that capability. At the moment, Pakistani soldiers will tell you, or used to tell you, that you have to ask Delhi. You have to ask Delhi to get permission. And therefore, I think that has to be done. And this is the dialogue between the army and the government, and the chief of army staff or the chairman chiefs of staff and the cabinet committee on security or the prime minister. That is one side of the equation.
Sir, to your observation, just one point I need to, Maruf and Colonel Kaul, I know you want to respond. I want to go to Shiv Shankar Mukherjee, who hasn't spoken yet. Are you suggesting, sitting as you are next to a former army chief, that our former army chiefs have not had either the opportunity or the will to thump on the table and tell the government of India that, look here, we need the covert ability and we need it now, because we need to strike against Pakistan if they try so, and twice as hard, so that they learn the lesson? And if so, why has our army establishment become so weak vis-a-vis the civilian establishment? Why are they not speaking up for what they need? Maruf, before I come to you, I want to go across once again for one quick word to Shiv Shankar Mukherjee. Shiv Shankar Mukherjee, you are seeing the way the discussion is now moving forward. Centrally though, however, my question to you as a former diplomat is, will you acknowledge these so-called peace talks have been thoroughly fruitless, especially over the last 5 to 6 years?
Well, they have been I wouldn't say they have been fruitless. They have been very fruitful from the Pakistani side. It has enabled Pakistan to pull the wool over the eyes of the international community. It has enabled them to thwart and reject evidence of terrorism and all kinds of invasion of sovereignty of India. The dialogue suits them very well. And coming to your point about the army establishment, I think we are being unfair to the army establishment. The way the system operates in India, the fact is that the political leadership must declare its political objective very clearly. Absent that, you cannot blame the army establishment for being either overreacting or underreacting. The fact is that, you know, when in Mani Iyer's phrase that if the government is committed to an uninterrupted and uninterruptible dialogue, the fact is that from independence, the military establishment that rules Pakistan is committed to an uninterrupted and uninterruptible hostile activity against India. Unless that is factored into our political will, then our counters to Pakistani perfidy will be to invite them for a cricket match and similar things. So that is the nub of the matter. The army in India, as everybody knows, is perfectly capable and perfectly willing to carry out the orders of the political establishment. It is the political establishment that must set that policy and define its objective very, very clearly.
I think there is complete unanimity on the panel, interestingly, today, that it is the political establishment which has failed insofar as handling Pakistan is concerned. We had a few counters. Maruf Raza's first counter, I think he wanted to counter Ashok Mehta. Then I'm coming to you, opening up this debate now, gentlemen, for the next 25 minutes. Maruf, please go first. Go ahead.
Arnab, I'm not countering what General Mehta has said. Actually, General Mehta is a very experienced soldier, and just like General Malik and Colonel Kaul, they're all hands-on men. They've faced battle, they faced bullets. But let me sort of put it into context and summarize what is coming out and where I feel where we are lacking. The first thing is, at the highest level of decision making in this country, at the political sphere, you'd probably have 1.5 politicians in this country at any given time who understands military and strategic issues. The rest of them couldn't be bothered. They leave it to generalist bureaucrats to brief them who are equally at sea on matters military. And General Malik did bring out that disconnect between the political bureaucratic elite and the military establishment on matters of national security. And we as a nation, if we have got great power aspirations, the first thing is we should be able to sort out our neighborhood. And we should be able to have a political leadership which gives times to matters military, except barring aside reviewing ceremonial parades. Obama takes 2 days off every year to go and understand the status of his nuclear command and his strategic commands. When was the last time any prime minister in India also at least bothered to understand what is the difference between Northern Command and Western Command? What are their operational zones? What is a fighter aircraft vis-a-vis, another aircraft which is just a routine attack helicopter? I mean, these are issues that at the highest level politicians must expect to understand. Only then, Arnab, can they direct the military to do something. Let me tell you another very interesting dimension to it all, and that is that General Malik did bring that point out, but more importantly, what Colonel Kaul said, and I go along with him, that the army commander there, and General Mehta referred to that, and yes, I do agree, the army commander there must have already, and I believe there was a news item yesterday, that Northern Army commander has said that we will react at a place of our choosing. We are at a disadvantage at Mendir, but we are not at a disadvantage at various other parts of the 740-kilometer long line of control, and we should be able to give them a bloody nose to tell them, listen, as far as the line of control is concerned, you respond, we respond. And this should not be connected with the larger holistic view that this government has.
But Maruf,
diplomacy or not, to take your term.
But Maruf, the bottom line is this, that, as Shiv Shankar Mukherjee very rightly pointed out, and I'm sure that Mr. Bhadra Kumar agrees with Shiv Shankar Mukherjee on this, that on the one side, we want uninterrupted and uninterruptible dialogue with Pakistan. They want to have an uninterrupted export of terrorism. Mr. Bhadrakumar, I'm sure. No, Mr. Bhadrakumar, I'm sure you're in complete agreement with Shiv Shankar Mukherjee on that. Let me get the other side, please. 1 second, Maruf. Bhadrakumar, Mr. Bhadrakumar, would you respond?
Just let me make one quick point.
We have completely contorted.
Arnab, one quick point.
Okay.
Arnab, one quick point.